But do staff and management from private nurseries have to undertake that training?
No, it's not compulsory, but 95% of our settings have sent staff, whether they're private day nurseries, voluntary sector. They have sent staff, and the 5% that remain are scheduled to attend. And I think one of the things that happens when an incident such as this happens in your own city, those nurseries are much more aware and keen to take part in the training that's on offer. And as my colleague has said, that training brings together the very best learning from serious case reviews across the country. And so we are able to offer a very comprehensive programme for all staff. I'd want to emphasise as well that you will maybe parents yourselves and have children at nursery, and you would find many nursery settings in this city say, but you know, we fulfil safer recruitment procedures. We have very rigorous child protection procedures in place. So it's important to recognise that we're building on existing practice and adding to people's knowledge. It's very, very rare indeed that you come across settings such as this where there was sort of very heavily layered absence of good practice.
Just out of interest, have you, both the council and the police, have you got all the money you need to ensure you can achieve everything you want to do in terms of child safety?
I'll go first. Another good question, particularly in the current environment. If I first of all address the police perspective, not as a direct consequence of this serious case review, but as part of the force's ongoing commitment to increase our staff's awareness around public protection, child protection risks, we've embarked on an extensive training programme with all staff up to the rank of inspector to raise awareness of risks and the signals, and that will be completed by January of next year. From my perspective, it is very much about identifying those key areas of risk, harm and threat that we deal with and prioritising the funding that we do have into those areas, and I think that's reflected across the partnership around prioritisation. Have we got enough? I think that's a different question.
That was the question I asked. Have you got enough?
Well, we prioritise what we have got.
You could do with more.
Of course, yeah.
And the same goes for the local authority. In the current economic climate, it would be lovely to say, yes, we need more. But actually, I'm really pleased to work for Plymouth City Council, where every time the leader of the council is asked, what's your top priority? She talks about, it's about minimising risk to children and keeping our children as safe as possible. So within the overall resources of the City Council, I'm very clear that the elected members of this city prioritise the needs of minimising risk to children really well.
Sorry, can I just clarify one point about the regulatory framework at the time when these offences were committed? Am I right in saying you're saying the early years team had no form of sanction they could have applied to this nursery whatsoever?
That's correct.
Can I ask whether you have written or you will be writing to Triumph Children's Schools and Families, or who you will be taking this forward to and what your key message will be?
Yes, we'll be taking with the Department for Education and actually firmly stressing that the recommendations in each report should be considered, and we will be following it up with the Department for Education to make sure that they take on board those messages that we've discovered, because it's important that these messages get out to the whole country.